You're far too noisy, too eager to justify yourself to an audience that isn't even paying attention, and that's exactly your issue. You assume that if you babble on long enough, they'll finally understand you. You believe that if you keep defending yourself, they'll eventually back off. But that's not the way it works, kid. The more you shout, the more powerless you appear. They're simply baiting a reaction. That's their whole strategy. They prod and poke, hoping you'll lose control so they can smugly declare, "See? We were right about you." Without even realizing it, you're playing straight into their hands. Look around, really look. Those who bark the loudest are often the ones who can barely bite. They thrive on chaos, feeding off it like it's the very air they breathe. Without chaos, they have nothing. They're nothing but hollow shells pretending to have substance. They spend their time building flimsy castles of deception, just waiting for you to tear them down. Here's the secret. You don't have to stand by silently and watch the flood come in. The truth has a peculiar way of surfacing, no matter how deep they try to bury it. You might think silence is a sign of weakness, that not defending yourself means you've lost. But genuine, measured silence is a weapon far sharper than any word. It serves as a mirror, forcing them to confront the ugliness of their own reflection. They'll unravel themselves trying to decode you. You don't need to move a muscle. Just cross your arms, lean back, and enjoy the show. All that energy you're wasting on trying to fix what's already beyond repair is pointless. Some people are so rotten at their core that no amount of reasoning will ever change them. They aren't interested in understanding. They crave control, wanting to break you down until you start believing their lies. Give them an inch and they'll take a mile. That's just how these parasites operate. They latch on and siphon your strength until you're empty. So, cut them off, swiftly and without mercy. Let them choke on your silence. Every reaction fuels their power. That spark in your eyes when they hurl their venom only makes them stronger. They feed off your anger, your frustration, your pain. It's the fuel that ignites their little infernos. Starve them. Offer a smile if you must, or simply look right through them as if they're nothing more than ghosts. You owe no one an explanation for how you choose to live your life. Let them chatter away. Words are cheap, while actions leave permanent marks. So, stop trying to explain and start letting your actions speak. If you want to thrive in this world, learn the strength in silence. True power doesn't need to shout or prove itself. It simply exists. Remember the lion? It pays no mind to the opinions of sheep. You're out here trying to prove you're not the villain they've painted you as. But here's a little secret, kid. If they've already decided on their verdict, nothing you say will ever change their minds. So stop wasting your breath. Think of it like a game of chess. You wouldn't see the king sprinting around the board to prove his worth, would you? He moves with deliberate precision, every step calculated. Meanwhile, the pawns rush in, desperate and expendable. You need to think like the king. Let them exhaust themselves trying to reach you. Force them to earn every inch. And when they're worn out, stumbling and lost, that's when you make your move, but not a moment sooner. Most people are entirely predictable. They crave being heard, being seen, and feeling significant. That's their weakness. But you can be different. You can be the silence that unsettles them, the mystery they can't decipher. The calm storm that never breaks. You can become the enigma that keeps them awake at night, puzzling over who you really are. That's true power, not in the clamor you create, but in the quiet that follows. It's almost ironic how they dig their own graves trying to bury you. They expose their own insecurities as they attempt to drag you down. Let them. The truth will eventually bubble to the surface, however ugly and slow it may be. You simply need patience. Hold your tongue until it feels like it's bleeding if you must, but don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you break. Patience, kid, that's the real game. Let them destroy themselves in their futile attempts to provoke you. People like that are always living on borrowed time. Lies, betrayal, false smiles. Everything comes with a price. Sooner or later, their masks will slip. Eventually, the entire house of cards will collapse. All you have to do is keep your hands clean and wait. That's the secret they never reveal. Revenge, the sweetest kind, is the one where you don't have to lift a finger. It's when they trip over their own schemes and fall flat into the chaos they've created. All you need to do is stand back, arms crossed, and watch them burn. No anger, no outbursts. No desperate speeches, just a cold, unwavering silence. Walking away doesn't make you weak. You're not a coward for refusing to join their games. It takes real strength to hold your tongue when every fiber of your being screams to retaliate. It takes true power to look them squarely in the eye and say nothing. Let them think they've won. Let them have their petty victories. The true battle is long, slow, and ruthless, and most people lack the backbone for it. But you've got that backbone. You've endured the stabs in the back and pulled out the knives without a flinch. You've listened to the whispers, the lies, the accusations, and yet you're still standing. Still standing. That in itself speaks volumes. Many would have crumbled by now, retreated and pleaded for mercy. But not you. And that's why they despise you, because you refuse to break, refuse to bow. They can't stand that no matter what they throw at you, you just keep coming back, colder, quieter every time. So stay silent, kid. Be patient. Let them continue their chatter. Let them scheme and plot. Eventually, they'll dig their own graves. And when they're buried under the weight of their own misdeeds, you can finally smile, quiet, cold, and deeply satisfied. By then they'll understand.